Alright guys, welcome to a nice, simple and short review here of a MacBook Pro. And you might all be wondering, does TechIt2Me recommend it? Well, the truth is, there are pluses and there are cons to an Apple product, and in this case the MacBook Pro, just as there are to a Windows-based PC. So, first and foremost, from a design aspect, it has a nice aluminum body, lid and keyboard, slot loading DVD drive, which is a nice touch, and all your basic, Ethernets, two USBs, memory card, FireWire, power, and simple stuff like that. And of course, your display port for connecting monitors and so forth. Very simplistic. It has an oversized trackpad, which is a very nice trackpad. You can pinch and zoom like an iPhone to magnify and reduce images. You can scroll sideways or horizontally up web pages, and also if you do two fingers, you can bring up a right-click interface just like that. So from that angle, it's very neat. Check-click keyboard, lid, as we said, very nice, very simple. Let's touch upon the simple aspects of a Mac, and that is the operating system. So Macs use their own operating system, which is the OS X 10 platform, and in this case it's called Snow Leopard. They have their whole taskbar on the top right there. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's nothing crazy to understand. All your applications are going to basically go up here, and you close them and do whatever you want with them in that regard. Very simple. On the bottom you have, just like Windows, your taskbar, or in this case the dock, which has all your certain applications, very simple: browser, mail, calendars, photos, backups, and of course the rest of your applications, which are numerous to count. So very easy, very point and click, etc., etc. What I can tell you that I do not like about a Mac are these included options right here. An option, no pun intended, and the command key. Okay, so to a Windows person, you are going to have a learning curve in that regard, because what you use to close a Windows, an actual Windows window, for example, you want to load, let's say let's load, I don't know. Okay, we'll load Google here on Firefox in a browser. So on a Windows-based machine, excuse me, on a Windows-based machine, you simply do Alt and you press the F4 button. Okay, and once you do that, easy, there goes your window. Okay, on a Mac, well, do you see your Alt anywhere? No. So right away you're going to be confused. So basically what you do on a Mac, well, you have to it's not fun. I wasn't really happy with this. You have to do Command and Q, and there goes your window. So things like that. There are others that I'd like to touch upon, such as figuring out where a right click is, but I already mentioned that. You basically have to put two fingers down, you right click, and then it brings up your other little options here. I mean, right away it becomes a little bit of a nuisance. It is annoying. Doing simple functions like putting the display brighter or whatever other commands you can do up here are not obvious. You would think, just like on a laptop, you would press the function key and the maximize display button, but nothing happens. As you can hear, the Mac is saying what's going on. Well, it's different. What you basically have to do is hold Control and reduce or minimize your brightness and whatever other commands you would like to do up here. Play, edit, whatever, mute the volumes and so forth. So things like that are very annoying to me. On a Windows machine, of course, as you all know, and on a laptop especially, you just hold the function key and you can literally just, take the keyboard down, turn your wireless off, put your display brighter or dimmer, easier. It's very simple. So things like that are not fun to me in terms of a Windows machine, and comparing it to the Apple here. It's really different. It is a learning curve. Um, Overall, this is where it gets tricky. Do you want to spend premium price for hardware that is not really, up to today's standards? Well, on a Mac, you're gonna get that. Why do I say that? Well, basically, a 13.3-inch MacBook Pro with the highest specs that can be fitted into this little machine here costs you $15.99, and that's a reduction in the price. You heard me right, guys. $15.99 plus tax. This 17-inch right here costed me $1,600 plus tax. Okay. Now, what do you get for both 1,600 machines here? Well, do you get an HD display on a Mac? No, you don't. Even if you buy a 15 or 17-inch MacBook Pro, you will never get this display. This right here on Windows is a 1080p display, same as your TV, okay? This is 1280 by 800. What are you gonna do with that? It's fine for most, but if you really like crisp clearness, this is where it's at, okay? It's really amazing, all right? It's a lot better. I'm sorry. So knock on Apple for that one, okay? Doesn't matter whether it's a 13-inch, 15-inch, or a 17-inch MacBook Pro. The display is not going to be a high resolution, as high as you can find on a similar based laptop on a Windows machine. Memory, 4 gigabytes, okay? Nothing. This one is 8. What else? Well, Macs are known for lit up keyboards. Well, guess what? I have it too on a Windows machine. Graphics. You have the lower class NVIDIA 320M, which is part of the third class ranking of mobile graphics cards on a laptop. This right here is the top class ATI Radeon 5870. And it's class 1, very high performance, true HD. And also this has a Blu-ray drive and CDR and DVD all in one drive. This is just a basic DVD and burning drive, okay? And if you want an i5 processor, you're not going to get it in the 13-inch. You will find them in the 15-inch and the 17-inch, or even an i7. You will find it in those two bigger size MacBook Pros. But when you couple a higher graphics card, a higher memory, a higher screen resolution, and all that on a Mac, on an Apple product, you're going to spend guaranteed anywhere from the high 1800s to 2300s. This, as I said, is $1,600, okay? And this has an i7, by the way. So, can you find i7s in a smaller Windows-based machine? And some of the other specs I mentioned? Yes, you can. Definitely. And they will cost you a lot less than $1,600. So, that's, the dollar to performance ratio on a Mac and a Windows machine. It is simple. There is a learning curve, and there is, the whole value for the dollar thing with a Mac. Can I recommend a MacBook Pro? If you want it for simplistic use, because that's all it can really do, it's fine. If you don't mind paying higher prices to get the higher specs, be my guest. You'll probably be happy with it, but you're not going to get the same power as you will here, okay, on a Windows machine of a similar price, or lower even. Mac is Mac and Windows is Windows. Their operating system is fantastic, okay, it's fast. Windows 7 is also very good now. It has come a long way, and if you get a nice antivirus like ESET Smart Security, it runs in the background, it's quiet, and it's very powerful, your system will be secure. A Mac, guys, can get viruses also. Don't think it can't. It doesn't need an antivirus because most viruses are made for Windows, unfortunately. But this can still get viruses. Don't be fooled by the myth. So overall, a Mac and a Windows machine, TechIt2Me cannot really recommend a Mac for you if you're used to more of the power features of a Windows machine and the whole understanding fundamentals of a Windows machine. Here you will be confused for a while. There are classes you can go to at any Mac store and learn this machine. For something so simplistic, there is a hard time trying to understand it right away, and I don't really like that. If it's your first computer and you don't mind, go for a Mac, it's fine. But overall, I can't recommend it fully. It's user preference. For now, TechIt2Me will stay with the Windows platform. It's great, it's better for me, I love it, and it's a lot more better for my pockets. So, MacBook Pros, Macs in general, if you need them for doing, simplistic things, they're okay. More powerful things, a lot of graphics and photo editing are done on Macs, that is true, but you're going to pay through the roof to get that equivalency. So, in general, you have to weigh it. Is it right or is it not? Alright guys, so that is about it. I hope I was useful and providing you an honest opinion. That's TechIt2Me's MacBook Pro, or in general, Apple Macintosh review. Is it right or is it not? In the end, it's up to you. Thanks guys. Have a good one. TechIt2Me.